When was your first DarkFest? When did you come for the first time? What year was it?
Last year. So this year was my second one.
This one was your second one. So before you came for the first time, what were you thinking? What? Because I mean, you probably see the jumps from afar on the internet. Must be like, this could be a little bit of a crazy idea.
Yeah, it was kind of like a little bit of do I ask them? Because once I ask, like, if he says yes, like, you have to go. It's like you can't get the yes from him and then be like, oh, actually, like, I'm a little bit scared. I'm gonna not go. It was like, so the hardest part is like going like, okay, I'm gonna ask him. Like, and I think at the time he hadn't ridden with. This was like only like a month before last year's one, and I was like, got to a point where I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna ask him. Like, this is it. Like, this is what you want to be doing. Like, it's a big step up, but it's where you want to go. And I think he was like, oh, it's like, I'm not sure yet. Like, I like to ride with people first. And he was like, I'm going to be in Queenstown though. Like, let's ride together. And I think he came and I filmed with him and Robin on Dream and like rode the 55 footer or whatever and towed him into that. And then I mean, we had a 6 session on that. And afterwards he was like, yeah, fuck it. Like, book a ticket. Like, let's go. And did that, and I was sick. And then this year was even sicker. Like, it's one of my favorite events. It's definitely one of those environments that pushes you to try and do some stuff that's going to scare you a bunch. But yeah, it's like you come out just like so pumped. It's insane.
I don't know how you felt. It's kind of as scary the second time because you have a whole year to forget what the feeling and the speeds, and then you get there and it's, well, at least for me, I'm like, what was everyone doing last year and why are we back here? And then, yeah, you just get more and more comfortable, I guess. Everyone kind of works their way up to jump it on their own time, which is cool. Do you feel any pressure ticking off the line before you're ready, or what's the week like for you?
No, I think it's one of those events where I just go to have fun and I don't feel like there's any pressure on me to do anything that I don't want to do. I was a little bummed this year. I did want to do a top to bottom, but I just didn't feel it. And honestly, like the flip was a big one for me and I was stoked on that. It was like by far the biggest flip I've ever done. So after that, I was kind of happy chilling, and then riding with like the rockets and things like that. So I think definitely like there's always more you want to do, but I was like super stoked. I feel like it's one of those environments where it's like up to you on how much you want to, like what you want to do. And that for me, I was stoked. It was such a fun week and I did what I wanted to do for the most part. So yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, because you and Robin flipped the step up in tandem as well, right? In the train.
Yeah.
People got to see that clip. It's so cool.
Yeah, it was so sick. I was umming and ahhing it for a while, and yeah, I think, and then I got so pumped up to do it, and then one of the boys had a big crash, and there was like a course hold for 30 minutes, and I was just like, oh no, I was like, this is it. Like, it's been too long now. And then like it cleared, and Robin was like, let's just go, like let's train it or whatever. And I was like, or I said to her, I was like, I'm gonna follow you. And then yeah, I don't know if she even thought I was gonna do it, but I think she turned around and saw that I'd done it. It was pretty insane. Like that was a sick moment for sure.
So she'd flipped it before, or did you both do it for the first time in the train?
No, she'd done it before.
She'd done it before,
yeah.
And then she basically bullied you to follow her, and then you'd flipped for the first time following it.
I actually think it was one of the moments where I think it was more me. Like I think she, like, before she did it for the first time, she joked. She was like, let's do a flip train. And I was like, no, I don't think I'm like ready for that. And she was like, yeah. And then she flipped it, and then I was like, maybe I do really want to do this. And then I think I asked her, I was like, do you want to do a train? And I think she kind of knew what I meant, and she was like, yeah, let's do it. So it was kind of, I think she was like, yeah, it was me getting stoked, I think, from seeing it and being like, let's just do it. Like, I just had no idea really how it was. Like, I barely flipped the big bike before. Like, that was my second time I flipped the downhill bike to dirt. So I was like, it was very foreign compared to like the slopestyle bike where I do it all the time. So it was like, I had no idea what the feeling was going to be like. And it was one of the slowest flips I've ever done. I remember like being upside down and just feeling like it stopped. And I was just like praying that it was going to come down.
Did you just decide how hard you're going to pull? Did someone tell you? Like, because it is a totally different pull than a slopestyle ride.
Yeah, so different. I think Robin just told me before, she was like, it feels so slow. I was like, okay. So she was like, just trust that it's like slow as, like, don't pull hard. Like, it's going to feel so slow. So that's what I did, and it worked out. I think it was definitely like, could have cleaned it up a little bit, but yeah, I was stoked on that. Yeah, it was pretty gnarly feeling.
Did you do it again, or was it just that one?
Just that one. But I'd like to go back and do it more for sure. I think needs a few more for sure.
Yeah, I think it was awesome. Like when the ladies were coming for the first time, I just seen like the sheer speed you had to hit some of the jumps, and I didn't know if the speed was going to work. I always thought the courage and like the skill would be there, and I think they would send it. I just didn't know if the course would work, if that makes sense. And
yeah,
boy, was I wrong. Like, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's just like, I mean, it does depend. Like, some runs do roll really slow and others, roll really fast. I know, yeah, some girls and some guys are fully pinned for stuff, and others like chilling. So it's definitely an interesting event to go to for the first time. Like, when speed is just like so important. It's like, and like the wind that makes such a difference, and toe-ins make such a difference. Like, following someone is insanely different to doing it by yourself. Like, that's like a massive thing about DarkFest and big jumps is all about that you're learning, and that's so fresh to me. But yeah, like I said before, everything feels fresh to me, so it's like, it's kind of good, I guess.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss, as they say. But the wind was a big challenge this year, and it's faster in the evenings. It kind of blows. Well, if there's no wind, it's the air pressure's going down the valley. In the morning, it's coming up, and it takes experience and to know that, as well as like trust yourself. And I think saying you didn't do everything you wanted to do, but you didn't feel comfortable, I think that's smart as well, right? And that's luckily that environment down there does allow that. You ticked off this awesome trick. Maybe you didn't get the top to bottom this year, but in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really matter,
Yeah, I think like I take away everything that I can from those events, and at the moment I'm like, I had a lot of in the back of my mind about slopestyle too. Like, I'm glad that we've done the first one now, because things like DarkFest and Hardline, like, it was in the back of my head that I wanted to be good for Rotorua. So that's hard, like, to go to events where it is gnarly and like you need to be in send it kind of mode, but at the same time being like, I want to be healthy for crank works, like that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a bit of a mix. Once I did the flip, I was like, okay, I'm good, like, I'm chilling. Same with like sort of hardline, like I was so stoked on the features that I did do, but at the same time it was like, okay, like, how much should I be sending it right now? Like, I guess it just depends on like what your priority is, and like it's just hard sometimes, because like you want to send it, and I was like surprised at hardline how good I felt, because like I hadn't ridden tech in like over a year. Like, it was insane. I got to the event and I was with all these girls, and like just did like a warm-up lap somewhere. I was with like Tani and Louise, and I was like, they like took off, and I was like, oh my god, what am I doing here? But it's like another one of those like learning ones for sure.